Welcome back. Let's get the rest of our bag put together. Let's start by folding our slip pocket in half, right sides together. We're going to sew around this curved edge at 3/8 of an inch. Be sure to leave about a 2 or 3 inch hole so that you can turn your pocket right side out. So as you see here, I'm back stitching and I'm just skipping a couple inches and then back stitching again and starting over. That way, after I'm done trimming, I can flip it right side out. So now we're going to trim this at 1/8 of an inch. If you have pinking shears, you can use those. I don't. So I just do these little notches around the curves and it will help it to lay flat. Now let's turn it right side out. I use some tweezers. You can use whatever you have handy to poke out those corners and make them lay nice and flat. And then you can fold in the raw edges, press it with an iron, or just clip it down. And now we're going to stitch right across the straight edge on the top. Be sure to back stitch before and after. Let's get this pocket attached. So grab your main panel and fold it in half, find the center, clip the center, and then that will give you a center line. Now we're going to attach the slip pocket. We're going to measure 2 inches down from that center line, fold the pocket in half. I just do a little crease so I can find that middle, and we're going to lay it flush with the ruler. I use a couple pieces of double-sided sticky tape just to hold it down, and then I'm going to stitch the round part of the pocket at 1/8 inch, being sure to back stitch at the beginning and the end. I love adding rivets wherever I can, so I'm going to add a rivet at each corner, but that is optional. To begin our zippered pocket, we're going to clip a center mark again. You're going to want to measure a 1/4 inch down from the top. I did measure incorrectly in this step, but it should be a 1/4 inch down. Then I find the center of my zipper pocket panel and we're going to face it right sides together. I'm just using the same double-sided tape and taping it in place. Next, we're going to draw a 6-inch line, and a 1/2 inch above that 6-inch line, we're going to draw a parallel 6-inch line next to it. And in between the two, we will draw a centered 5-inch line. So I just measure a 1/4 inch above the first line and draw the 5-inch line. Then we're going to connect the ends and create 2 triangles on each side. It should look just like this. Now we're going to take it to the machine. We're going to stitch the bottom and the top line. Now we're going to cut the center line and the 2 triangles. I use a craft knife, but you can use a seam ripper or some scissors, whatever you have that works. We're going to cut those open. And now flip that through the hole that you just created. and kind of pull and tug each end so the seams lay nice and flat, and then give it a good press with your iron. Grab your 7-inch zipper and the longer of the two zipper panels. Be sure to pay attention to which direction the zipper pull is facing. You want it to face to the left. We're going to clip that in place. We're going to baste stitch that at 1/8 inch. Anytime you come close to the zipper pull, be sure to move it out of the way. Now grab your other zipper pocket panel. Make sure it's facing the correct direction. We're going to take the other end of the zipper and clip that to the top portion. And again, we're going to baste that at 1/8 inch. It should look like this, right sides together with the panels and the zipper on top. Now that our pocket is complete, we're going to add some double-sided tape so that we can attach it to our main panel. Add it at the bottom and the top, and we're going to start by removing it from the top first. And then just with your fingers, try your best from underneath to feel the middle, get it centered, and place that main panel on top. And stick the tape to the top portion. And once you're happy with how that's laying, then you can remove the bottom tape and stick it down. Let's sew that on. So we just sew a straight stitch across the top and the bottom, back stitching at the beginning and end. Important, be sure when you do that bottom stitch to put the pocket up. Pull it up out of the way or you will sew your pocket shut. Ask me how I know. When you're done stitching, I like to just make sure the pocket works and that it's not sewn shut. Then we're going to trace a line at the bottom of this curved edge. I did these steps backwards, so you'll see some stitching on my pocket, but you shouldn't have any done yet. Be sure to trace this line. Then about 3/8 of an inch above that line is where you're going to want to trim your pocket. After trimming, be sure to sew each side down at 1/4 inch. Make sure you catch the triangles in that stitch. Let's attach our gusset next. We're going to do the same thing we did with our exterior, starting with each top corner. Clip that in place and or staple. I end up stapling. It just helps so much with the shifting of the fabric, so I highly recommend stapling. And then we're going to stitch that in place. We're going to start at 3/8 inch and then build up to 5/8 inch around the curve and then back down to 3/8 inch to the other side. Also be sure on one of your main panels to leave a good 5 to 6 inch gap at the bottom to turn our bag through. And just like our exterior, we're going to trim about 1 inch down and keep those little tabs on the top ends. Now we get to put our bag together. So let's start by taking our exterior and turning it right side out. Then put the exterior into the interior, right sides together. Pay attention to which pocket you want on the front and the back and place it that right direction. We're going to move all of the hardware and the strap connector, everything out of the way, the zipper, all of that out of the way, and we're just going to start by clipping our seams together and opening them up. I just did some staples to keep them in place. I did that to all 4 seams. And then we just clip or staple around the entire top with, again, the D-rings and the zipper, everything pushed in between the two. And then we're going to stitch that at 3/8 of an inch all around the top. This part I did change to a zipper foot because we are actually sewing next to the zipper, and you do want to be sure to get to that 3/8 mark. Okay, let's flip our bag right side out. So it really is a pretty easy bag to birth. It flips out pretty easily, and then you just want to push all your seams out, make everything lay flat, and then push your interior inside. And now we want to do our final top stitch. So I just pulled the zipper out and kind of rolled with my fingers and got everything to lay flat, the inside and the exterior, and we're going to top stitch around. For my top stitch, I do like to do the same method where I leave the thread tails long and I tie it off after. Just gives it a cleaner finish. I'm going to share with you all of my domestic machine top stitching tips. The first being to top stitch your bag inside out. I don't have a cylinder arm machine, so it's just much easier to get to the exterior with my needle and to maneuver it around. Another tip is to use a walking foot. It just gets over the vinyl much easier for me. Also, be sure to check your bobbin before you start and make sure it's not going to run out halfway through on you. Any of the really thick parts or thick seams, I always hand crank and turn manually, and that helps me get over them. Be sure to look at it after and make sure you don't have any skip stitches and that everything looks nice. After turning it right side out, because I did do the long thread tail method, I'm going to use my needle and just push it through one of the thread holes that I already made, tie it off, and then I'm going to pull it through the slip pocket and finish it off that way. It's looking so good. We're almost done. So we're going to pull our interior through our pocket. We're going to stitch that closed. Be sure to do 5/8 inch. I just pull it through. I add a couple clips. Be sure to back stitch at the beginning and end. And we will stitch that closed and then trim it to 1/8 of an inch. Now you can push that lining back in, and let's grab our slip pocket out. You just need to fold the edges inwards and clip them in place and top stitch this at 1/8 of an inch. I always double check to make sure that the thread got through the front and the back and that it's closed completely, and then you can put that back in the pocket and our interior is all closed up now. It's a good time to add our zipper pull on. Zip it up and make sure that everything looks flush and aligns nicely. And now we're going to start on our straps. Cut your strap keeper in half. Pay attention to the fact that you have a right side and a wrong side. We're going to fold it right sides together, so those folded raw edges are on the outside. We're going to stitch at 3/8 of an inch on the raw edge. Now turn it right side out. And then we're going to glue. You can use super glue, fabric glue, whatever it is that you have. We're going to glue those seams open. We're going to do this to both strap keepers. Now we can create our straps. So take your side connectors, we're going to fold them in half and measure 1/8 inch and punch a rivet hole on both sides. So it should be 1/8 inch on either side. Now pay attention to the fact that each strap has a nice clean folded edge from when we made the strap. We want those to be facing the outside and the front of the bag. So we're going to lay those nice sides together, mirroring each other, and we're going to measure 6 inches and punch another rivet hole. So we should have a rivet hole here, here, and here on both of these straps with the nice ends facing each other. Now the way we're going to attach these is find the end that has the 2 rivet holes close together, and we're going to feed that through that strap connector side. Again, paying attention that your nice folded edge is facing the front of the bag. And then we're going to feed that strap keeper over those top raw edges. And then we're going to pull that down and align the rivet holes that we made. The raw edges on the top should not align. It should be the little rivet holes right there. They should align together. And then we're going to feed our strap adjuster through that longer end, up and over. And we are going to make the rivet hole on that end match as well. So we should have 3 of the holes all connecting together. And we're going to rivet that in place. Make sure that your strap keeper, the nice edge, is facing outward and the seam edge is facing inward. We're going to glue that seam edge down. And this is what it should look like when it's all riveted in place. And now we're going to glue the strap keeper in place. We're only going to glue the seam side. So the exterior side, the nice side, we want to stay open so that we can pull our strap through it. Feed your strap up and over the strap adjuster, and then feed the raw edge end through the strap keeper and pull that down. And repeat on the other side. Now we just add our strap ends and our zipper end. Pull the strap ends through your D-ring or rectangle ring, and you are done. You've finished your first Luna. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you enjoy your new bag.